changes at half-time, so it's as you were. But here is Agbadou once more, and Totti Gomez gets the ball back to his goalkeeper Jose Sarr. Here's Matt Doherty playing the ball down the right-hand side. It's a good ball. It's found Højbjerg, who gets it across. Here's a chance. Oh, that's bristled the side netting. Strand Larsen arrived right on cue. The man who scored 5 goals in 6 games in March and April as Wolves pulled clear of danger last year. He took it left-footed and it's bristled the side netting. It was probably more of a right-footed strike that was wanted. But Larsen got it onto his favoured left. But couldn't direct it on target. Well, that's as close as Wolves have come, really. Will that give them some encouragement at the start of this second half? Agbadou quickly established himself at the centre of Wolves' defence. Here's Højbjerg. Ball out for a throw. Højbjerg spent a lot of time out on loan since joining Wolves, most recently at Auxerre in France, but given a start at the beginning of this season. Ball's out on the far side. Müller-Wolf was well forward. Played back into the centre circle. Wolves have started brightly in this first couple of minutes. They've dominated possession of the ball. Vitor Pereira would have been saying, if we get the next goal, we're back in the game. Let's not give away anything. And Pep Guardiola would have been warning his side that 2-0 can be dangerous. 6 of City's 8 away wins last year came by 2 or more goals, so they're on target for that. 7 of those away wins were against teams in the bottom half of the table, so that would suggest that they were always favourites for today as well. Here's Strand Larsen, though, knocking the ball on to Højbjerg, and that's a good ball. Oh, it just can't be gathered in on the far side by Müller-Wolf. He applauds the idea. He got forward well. Strand Larsen, in the meanwhile, has taken a late challenge from somebody. Oh, it's Ryan Aït-Nouri, his former teammate, that's left one on him, we might say. And he seems to be in a lot of discomfort on the turf. They've turned him over onto his side and he's now rolled onto his back, but he had his head in hands for a while. Being treated. Seems to be a problem with his right foot. Aït-Nouri was a little late. He's got away with that one, I think, because play had gone on and progressed. Made 157 appearances for Wolves, did Ryan Aït-Nouri, between 2020 and 2025. So, something of an irony that his first league game for City is back at his old stomping ground. Well, the 2 physios are feeding back some information to the bench. Strand Larsen still isn't on his feet. He's being helped up now. He looks rather... well, he's rather gingerly got to his feet. They won't want to lose him. He's their main strike threat. They've got Hwang Hee-Chang on the bench, who was the last man to score a winning goal for Wolves against Manchester City in the victory in 2023. That was the only win that Wolves have managed in the last 10 encounters against Manchester City. But Hwang Hee-Chang scored the winner there in the second half in a 2-1 success. Well, I think Strand Larsen is going to try and come back on the field. He's waiting for permission to re-enter the fray, so at the moment Wolves are a man light. But Manchester City haven't really come out of the dressing room at the start of this second half. They've given away another free kick. They've been a little sloppy at the start of this second period, which would have been just the thing that Pep Guardiola would have warned them against. So let's see if they can change that mentality now with Ruben Diaz. I don't think Strand Larsen is back on the pitch yet, so Wolves are still a man light. So it's obviously not a straightforward return to the field. So we might have to have a change of personnel. In the meantime, Manchester City just getting a few passes together just inside the Wolves half. They have the ball with Stones. Here is Nico Gonzalez. Ball's played out to the far side, and Oscar Bobb, the City right. Back to Rico Lewis. Lewis sprays one from right to left. Doesn't get it over the head of Hoyvier, who clears as far as Manetzi. Manetzi clears into the Manchester City half, but it's going to come back because obviously Strand Larsen is the forward raider, but he's not on the field. Well, he's limped back on now and tried to put a challenge in. Still looks to be moving a little gingerly to me. Here's Rico Lewis on the far side for City. Dinks inside. Will it break for City again? They've dinked it across the box. Doku was cocking as if to have a shot. Didn't come to him. It came to Ryan Aït-Nouri and he was off target. That could have been trouble again for Wolves. City finding space down by the byline, just to the right of the goal as we look. In the end it came to nothing, but could have been dangerous. That's the first time City have really threatened in this second half. 7.5 minutes played in that second period here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Wolves 0, Manchester City 2. Manchester City loft the ball forward. Haaland couldn't get onto it, but it's broken for Bernardo Silva, who runs forward. Good tackling back though by Wolves, who've won the ball. Well, I don't think Vitor Pereira can fault his side for harrying an effort. They may lack a little in the class department compared to Manchester City's riches, but they're certainly putting their best foot forward. Muller Wolf is aghast that he hasn't won a throw over on the far side. Decision given to Manchester City. Here's Ruben Diaz, and now Ryan Aït-Nouri being policed by Manetzi. Gets it out wide to Doku. Doku, instead of running at Hoyvier, plays it inside to Ryan Aït-Nouri. He's hustled off it. Doku tries to tackle back, but Manetzi breaks out of the challenge. Here's Rikner Bellegarde. He's bundled over. Well, that was blatant, I'm afraid, on the recovery run. And it means that Reinders, as well as a goal, has got himself a booking on his debut for Manchester City. That was a bit silly from Reinders. I'm not sure he needed to do that. I think there was plenty of cover behind him, but he's earned himself a yellow card. Whether that will lead to an early exit from the action, I don't know. Depends how much Pep Guardiola trusts him not to put in another rest challenge, because if you're 2-0 up, the last thing you want is to go a man down. That ball forward was looking for Hoyvier, but it skipped ahead of him. Went out on this near side. Throw to Manchester City. They've given the ball away again, though. Of the men in blue and white. A little sloppy at the start of this second half. They were frustrated for half an hour in the first half as well. Played well in the last quarter of an hour. But it's been a bit fits and starts from Pep Guardiola's side. They won't worry too much if they go home with the points and a clean sheet. But they just want to be a little bit careful that they don't give Wolves a sniff in this game. It's a throw to Wolves on the far side, about 10 yards inside the Manchester City half. Let's come back to Agbadou. Here's João Gomez. Gomez lofted forward now by Totti Gomez. Headed away by Ryan Aït-Nouri. who contests another ball. Bernardo Silva tucks it back to Diaz. Diaz to the halfway line. Doku didn't take it in stride properly. That allowed Agbadou to get in half a clearance. Ball played forward again. And Haaland is penalised for bundling over Totti Gomez in his eagerness to get to the ball. And I think that's a fair enough decision. So it'll be a free kick to Wolves. Haaland's had a strange game. He's not been in the action much. Missed a sitter in the first half. Got a tap in later in the half. But not done a lot other than that. Here are Wolves breaking forward with Højbjerg. He's played it to Manetzi. Manetzi across the area, dangerous. Nobody could get a boot on it. It's been retrieved on the far side by Müller-Wolf. But he's being forced to retreat by Rico Lewis. Wolves still in possession though with Andre. Müller-Wolf went to make another run down the left-hand side, didn't get the ball. Here is Rickner Bellegarde lofting a ball into the penalty area, headed away by Stones, not gathered in though by Manchester City, who look a little bit off it in this half. Højbjerg. Wolves will feel if they can get one goal back here, they've got a chance. Because City are not on their mettle since the break, and they've given away another free kick. Bernardo Silva reacts angrily, but the foul is given on Manetzi. I think City were a little annoyed that the previous Wolves attack was not pulled up for offside against Strand Larsen. Reinders thought he'd stepped out in time to play the tall Norwegian offside, but decision went with Wolves. They now have this free kick midway inside the City half, about 15 yards in from the near touchline. That's the Wolves' right, so they can bend the ball in here. Got plenty forward. They can attack it. Oh, it's played down to Strand Larsen. It's a good ball. Strand Larsen tries to dink it over Trafford, who flicks it over the bar. That was a clever free kick. It was played down the right-hand side. Strand Larsen made a really good run. Ryan Aït-Nouri made it difficult. It was lobbed towards goal and it would have crept in under the bar had Trafford not turned it over. So a corner to Wolves, searching for a way back into the game. In it comes from Müller-Wolf, headed away to the edge of the area. Will they try and return it to the corner taker? They do. Müller-Wolf looks to take on Oscar Bob. Gets the ball into the box. It's hooked away by Nico Gonzalez. Wolves still have it on this far side with João Gomez. João Gomez to Totti Gomez. And now Rickner Bellegarde. Agbadou was still well forward there, waiting for another ball back into the box, but didn't come. May come now. He's still forward. Højbjerg back to Doherty. Doherty in his second spell with Wolves after a period with Tottenham. He lofted that ball forward, didn't come to anything. John Stones looks to break out of defence and does well. Reinders now to Oscar Bob. Here is Rico Lewis. Inside to Nico Gonzalez. City slow the game down. Ryan Aït-Nouri to the left of the centre circle in his own half. Here's Ruben Diaz. Well, that's loose again from Diaz. Just about retrieved on this near touchline by Doku. It wasn't meant for Doku, it was meant for Aït-Nouri. He's been careless with his passing today as Ruben Diaz. Lofted forward by Trafford. Here is Reinders once more, breaking forward. Oscar Bob, Reinders again, can pull it back to the edge. Here's Haaland, and that's 3. Beautiful goal by Manchester City. Tijani Reinders was a lot to do with that once again. Playing a little 1-2, bursting forward, pulling it back from the byline. And Haaland arrived on the edge of the box and rifled it in past Jose Sarr. 2 for Erling Haaland. A goal and an assist for Reinders. And Manchester City lead 3-0 as we tick just past the hour. That is a lovely, lovely goal. Trafford had chipped it out of defence. Reinders held off his man, played a little 1-2 with Oscar Bob, told him where he wanted the ball put back to him, pulled it back to Haaland, and Haaland's finish with the left foot was unerring and fabulous. Sarr couldn't keep it out. And Manchester City lead 3-0. So Pep Guardiola's team on the way to 3 points to start the season. There's obviously been a little bit of a tete-a-tete between Strand Larsen and Rico Lewis from the restart. Gerard Guillet wants a word with both of them. Ruben Diaz has gone across to make petition for his player. Bernardo Silva and John Stones are rather too close to that scenario for comfort. I think maybe there was an objection. Well, while the goal celebrations were going on, Lewis and Strand Larsen were having a little bit of a spat just beyond the halfway line. Strand Larsen was wagging his finger at the young fullback. I'm wondering if Strand Larsen will come off in the wake of that goal, because I think he's still struggling with it, with his injury. And really, you would feel that there's no way back now for Wolves in this game. Erling Haaland's now got 10 goals against Wolves, which is more than any other Premier League opponent. His first goal meant that he got 9 against Wolves, which was level with his total against West Ham. But now Wolves are the most scored against team in Erling Haaland terms, and he'll be sniffing a hat-trick before the end of this game, you would feel. Manchester City have the ball back on the far side, and they've won themselves a free kick. Lewis is bundled over right on the touchline, picks himself up. Manchester City are going to make some substitutions though, now that they're 3 to the good, and that makes some sense. They didn't have much of a pre-season, of course, because of their involvement in the Club World Cup, so a lot of their players will be a little bit undercooked in terms of match time. So to get some minutes in them while the points are surely safe won't be a bad thing from their perspective. Interesting to see who comes off. They may give Reinders a breather because he has been booked, but he's been wonderful today, really has. Here's Trafford with a clearance from his own 6-yard box. Agbadou plays the ball back to Sarr, who whacks it forward. Does manage to find Gomez. Gomez to Rickner Bellegarde. Bellegarde races forward. Strand Larsen's outside, and no, Muller-Wolf's outside him. He looked to play the ball into the box. Lewis blocked it. It went behind for a corner, so I don't think City will be making those substitutions while they're facing a set piece. Can Wolves get themselves on the board? Rickner Bellegarde is going to take the set piece. Agbadou and Totti are both well forward for this particular set piece. It's headed away at the near post though by Manchester City. Well, they tried to play it back to the corner taker, did Wolves, but didn't reach them. So after a good first half an hour for Wolves, it's all gone a little awry. Here come the substitutions for Manchester City. Matheus Nunes and Omar Marmoush are 2 of those waiting to come on. Bellegarde is hustling Lewis off the field. Lewis is doing his best to take as long as possible to take the short route. He was trying to take the long route right across the pitch, and the referee discouraged him from doing that, as he's not supposed to do, of course. Matheus Nunes is on in his stead, another ex-Wolves player, of course. Looks as if Jeremy Doku is another who's going to take his leave. Omar Marmoush is on in his place, and Bernardo Silva is coming off, so Reinders is going to stay on. Bernardo Silva comes off, saving his legs for another day. I think it's going to be Nick O'Reilly who's going to come on for him. They do a double high five as O'Reilly takes to the field. Very, very promising youngster who got quite a bit of game time last season. Núñez gets into the action straight away by taking the throw. Throws it onto a Wolves head though. Here is Doherty. Oh, has he been sold short? Well, he was sold short. Marmouche got a foot in. Doherty brought him down, and Doherty is booked. As I was saying about Doherty just a few minutes ago, he's in his second spell at Wolves. 320 games for them now. But in the book there for a lunge after he let the ball escape him. So a caution for the experienced centre-back come full-back. Manchester City take the free kick. Here is Ryan Nori breaking towards the byline. His cross is cut out. And Wolves try and run the ball away. Here's Andre. That's a good ball out to the left-hand side. Müller-Wolf has galloped forward into that space, as he likes to do. City have got players back behind the ball though. Wolves took too long to move that on, really. And City have their defensive shape once more. Here's Agbadou in the centre circle. Out to Højbjerg on the near touchline, the Wolves right. Back into a more central area. Totti Gomez, the Guinea-Bissau Portuguese-born, the Guinea-Bissau-born Portuguese international. Spent 18 months on loan at Grasshoppers after signing in 2020. He signed a 5.5-year deal last February, so he's going to be around for a while. Wolves are going to make some changes in a moment as well. Here is Totti Gomez. Wolves playing some short passes in and around the centre circle. Ball now played forward, looking for Müller-Wolf. He tried to reach it down by the byline, but shepherded out well by Matheus Núñez for a goal kick. He would have liked to have been starting ahead of Rico Lewis today, but here's Lewis has got the nod for the start of the season. Perhaps Pep Guardiola just thought he was the better option for this fixture. We'll have to see as time goes on. Trafford to take the goal kick and takes it long. Up towards Erling Haaland, doesn't reach him, headed away by Wolves, who have it back in their possession. Højbjerg gives it away though to Oscar Bob. Good to see him back after his broken leg that kept him out of much of last season. O'Reilly, he too gets a touch. Tall figure, O'Reilly. There's Diaz. Diaz to Stones. Stones once more picks it up from Trafford. Makes progress down the right-hand side of his own half. Exchanges passes with Bob. Plays it inside to Reinders. Stones again. Reinders picks it up off a Wolves foot. Feeds it out left to Ryan Nori. Reinders has picked it up again. He's been everywhere today. As Tijani Reinders. What a debut it's been. City have won themselves a free kick. They've taken it quickly. Here's Nori once more. Reinders driving forward. Oh, he looked to play it to the feet of Haaland, but played it beyond him. Müller-Wolf clears down the left-hand side, but to nobody in particular, excuse me. And Manchester City have it back with John Stones. We've played 70 minutes here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Wolves 0, Manchester City 3. 2 for Erling Haaland and 1 for Tijani Reinders. Have put Manchester City firmly in control of the 3 points. It would take something cataclysmic to turn this one round now. Here is John Stones once more. And now Ryan Aït-Nouri. Well, they nearly got in a tangle there, did O'Reilly. He managed to get it to Nico Gonzalez, who was brought to ground, winning Manchester City a free kick. And we're going to have a quadruple substitution now for Wolves. Goodness me. Well, we seem to have Hugo Bueno on the sideline, coming on for David Müller-Wolf. He's done pretty well on debut, despite the fact that Wolves have shipped 3 goals. So Hugo Bueno comes into the fray on his behalf. Bueno, who's been with Wolves since 2022, but he spent last season on loan at Feyenoord. Still the substitutions continue. Hoyvier's come off and Andre as well. Taking a while to make these 4 swaps, it has to be said. And yeah, Hoyvier has definitely left us. Rodrigo Gomez has come on as well. And Ritner Bellegarde has also given way. So 4 substitutions at once in the 73rd minute for Wolverhampton Wanderers. We're seeing Jean Arias come on. Summer signing from Fluminense. He earned himself a nomination for Team of the Tournament at the Club World Cup. Erling Haaland's day is done as well. He's not going to get a hat-trick today. He has taken leave of the field with 17 minutes to go. And Rayan Cherki has taken his place. Another of the summer arrivals for Manchester City. Rayan Cherki brought into this team from Lyon on a 5-year deal. Well, Trafford nearly got himself in trouble on his own goal line then. He was being put under pressure. And City have given the ball away. Here's an opportunity. Good cross in too, headed away to the edge of the area. Manetzi picks it up, tries to get a shot off, appeals for handball by Wolves. Nothing given by referee Gillet, but Gillet has stopped play. Maybe VAR wants to look at this. Manetzi got a shot off. No, it's actually hit Ruben Diaz in the midriff. It's nowhere near his hand, in fact. So, but Wolves come again, looking to retrieve something from this game. It's come to Hugo Bueno. So it was Arias for Bellegarde, Rodrigo Gomez into the action as well. Hugo Bueno. So plenty of substitutions. Here's a chance. Good save by James Trafford, who motions to his defenders that they were sleeping. Strand Larsen hasn't given up getting himself on the score sheet. That was another shot from the Norwegian striker. He's worked hard up there. Wolves pick up the ball once more. It's with Fer Lopez, who was one of those 4 substitutes from a few minutes ago. Here come Wolves again on this right-hand side with Rodrigo Gomez. Gomez played it back inside. Doherty. Here's João Gomez trying to make progress, but he's running horizontally across the pitch at the moment. Got it out left to Bueno though. He's got a man on the overlap, doesn't use him. Tries to go outside. His man puts the ball into the box. Dangerous one, hooked away by Wath Nori. Wolves putting some pressure on here with their fresh legs. Doherty with the ball in. It's going to travel all the way to the far side, and Bueno across the box. Again, it's blocked. City under pressure for the first time in the game, really. Sustained pressure from the old Gold. Shot from distance, well, that's a bit of a waste. Not quite sure what I think it's Agbadou was thinking there. That was a wild lash. Strand Larsson's effort was a much better one from a few minutes ago from the left-hand side of the area. Right-footed. Tried to put it across Trafford into the far corner. Trafford got two strong hands on it. Palmed it away to safety. Trafford will now take the goal kick. He really is in a garish kit, this James Trafford. He's got pink boots to boot. Long kick from him, straight out on this near side for a throw to Wolves. They look to get the ball back in play quickly. There's Agbadou to Jose Sarr. Sarr to Totti Gomez. Totti Gomez to Hugo Bueno. He's dispossessed though by Manchester City. Bueno gets a foot in though to retrieve his error. He's now gone galloping down the left-hand side looking for a return pass. Didn't get it. John Stones is across to, Nico Gonzalez is across to whack it out of play for a throw. Wolves have it once more. Enjoying their best spell of the game at Wolves, but unfortunately they're 3 down before they've produced it. There's been no lack of effort though. Vitor Pereira will be able to know that his players gave him plenty, they just haven't been quite good enough to take on Manchester City, who are not that many people's favourites for the title this year. Liverpool seem to be favoured by most, Liverpool or Arsenal, but you can rest assured they won't be that far off come next May. Here is Ruben Diaz playing the ball forward from this left-hand touchline as City play. Nico Riley, that was a good hook forward as well by Manchester City. Here's Marmouche looking to take on his man, but Totti does well. Totti did really well. Because at one stage there he was second favourite for that ball. Well, that's a wild challenge by O'Reilly. That might be revisited by referee Gillet when play stops, because he's carried on because Wolves have the ball. They've played a ball in here. Will it come down for Wolves? No, it won't, because Wath Nori has stolen it off the boot of Rodrigo Gomez. Needs some help though to clear it. Here's Diaz. Well, the longer this goes on, the more O'Reilly's likely to get away with that challenge, because the referee might forget. But if it stops anytime soon, I think O'Reilly will be in the book. Here's Matheus Nunes, just inside the City half. City trying to take the sting out of that little period of Wolves' pressure. Tijani Reinders galloping down the right again. Exchanges passes with Bob. He's in again here, Reinders, but there's nobody in the penalty area. He put the ball across the box invitingly, but Marmouche was too far behind the play. One fancies if that had been Erling Haaland in the box, it might have been 4. They've got it again though, City. Shot comes in and now it is 4. What a lovely finish that is. Great finish by Rayan Cherki. So he's marked his debut with a goal as well. And Manchester City have 4. It's a lovely strike from just outside the box. Wolves didn't really clear it from the initial cross. Manchester City recycled it, and they found a fourth. Well, that might be a little harsh on Wolves, but Manchester City won't care about that. Ryan Cherky scores on his debut. The man newly arrived from Lyon. He was involved in the build-up to that goal as well. Played a lovely cheeky back heel to Nick O'Reilly. And when he got it back, he put it through the legs of the defender and beyond the reach of Jose Sarr. Good finish with his right foot, just from the edge of the D. Sarr couldn't reach it. It was at full stretch. Ryan Cherky points to the Manchester City badge to say to the fans, I'm here, I've arrived, and he's arrived in style. Wolves 0, Manchester City 4. Ryan Cherky with the fourth goal. Well, Hwang Hee-Chang is on for Wolves. Strand Larsen's finally given up for the day. I think he might be being troubled by that whack he got earlier on. Manchester City are making another change too. John Stones has seen the end of his action for the day. It may be Kusanov that's coming on in his place, and it is indeed. So Kusanov is on, Stones is off. We've got 8 minutes to go. And in the midst of all that, I don't think O'Reilly ended up in the book. He ended up with an assist, but so much time passed since his rather wild lunge that I think he got away without being booked. So there we are. When it's your day, I guess. Wolves have won a throw on the far side. Or did he get booked? Yes, he did. The referee did remember. I didn't actually see him show the yellow card, but he did show it. So an assist and a booking for O'Reilly, and that's quite right, because it was a wild foul. So well done to Gerard Guillet for remembering that after everything else that happened. Here is O'Reilly once more, linking up with Ryan Aït-Nouri. Ball's not gone out of play, I don't think. We've got a Wolves player down on the ground who's in a little bit of pain. It might be Manetzi. But I think the ball's now gone out on the far side. It's a throw to Manchester City, which will be taken by Ryan Aït-Nouri. A triumphant return to Molineux for him on his Manchester City debut. There's Kusanov. Oh, that's loose from Manchester City again. That may well have been Matheus Nunes. He's somewhat fortunately given a foul. I'm not sure there was a foul, but one has been given. Manchester City's next 4 fixtures: Spurs, Brighton, Manchester United and Arsenal. Well, that should tell us a little bit about their season. But Pep Guardiola will be quite happy about this one. 6 minutes to go, and his side 4 to the good. 2 debutants on the score sheet, 2 for Erling Haaland. Clean sheet so far. And you have the feeling that, for all that, City have not been at their best. And if you cannot be at your best and win 4-0, what's not to like? Ball's out on the far side. It's going to be a throw to Wolves. Not sure. Oh, it's going to be a throw to Manchester City, apparently, midway inside the half. I wondered why a Wolves player wasn't going over to take it. It's because it's a Manchester City throw, which has been thrown into the centre of the pitch, where Aït-Nouri retrieves it, sends it back to Diaz. Diaz has played a decent ball there for Aït-Nouri. Not all his balls have been decent today, but he's played a good one there. Here's O'Reilly, and now Diaz once more. O'Reilly, Aït-Nouri. Wolves a little frustrated now, wanting to get hold of the ball, try and do something with it. They feel the world is against them. But Manchester City, in the end, have proved irresistible. They've just had too much class to call on, really, for a Wolves team that, don't forget, lost Matthias Cunha as well as Rane Nouri over the summer. And they are big holes to fill in that team. Remains to be seen if Vitor Pereira can work the oracle again and keep Wolves away from trouble. Here's O'Reilly. João Gomez does well, but City have won the ball back. Oscar Bob. Here's Reinders again on the edge of the area. He tries a shot, screws it wide. Well, it was worth a try. The way his day's gone, might have flown in the back of the net. Really has had a super debut. He'd be a strong candidate for man of the match, I think. Probably won't be top of the Fantasy Premier League points total because of his booking. But his booking apart, he really has been magnificent. Wolves play a ball forward, a long ball forward, and Chang is onto it. Can he make something of it? He's turning this way and that, but City have forced him out of the penalty area, but he's got the ball through to Fer Lopez. His shot was blocked out to the side, and Nunes puts it out for a throw down by the corner flag on the far side. So Wolves still trying for a goal, still trying to get something to take out of this game and to block Manchester City's clean sheet. There's Agbadou to this near side. Rodrigo Gomez forced away from goal by Omar Marmoush. Agbadou plays it square pass for Gomez out to the left-hand touchline. Bueno runs in field, gives it back to Gomez, to Totti Gomez, and that's too long. It's an easy one for James Trafford. Just over 2 minutes of normal time remaining here at Molineux on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Wolves 0, Manchester City 4. An emphatic win in the end for Manchester City. All played up the touchline. Can't keep it in, Oscar Bob. This will be a good 90 minutes for him after all his injury issues. Here's Agbadou. Swings it out to this near side, just about kept in by Rodrigo Gomez. But across comes Rane Nouri. Gets it back to his goalkeeper. Nouri seems to have gone down hurt, having played that ball back. Manchester City venture forward with Matthias Nunes. Nouri's out of play. Nouri picks himself up, limping a little on his left foot. They've gone over slightly awkwardly. I don't think there's any long-term damage to that. We're playing out the death throes of this game. Manchester City have the points in the bank. There is Cherki, who scored the 4th goal. Lovely little 1-2 with Reinders. Cherki runs through the centre circle. Plenty forward for City. Cherki still going. Oh, played the ball to his left. Should have been left to go through to Reinders, but Marmoush got in the way. Reinders retrieved it. Wolves are now back behind the ball. But if Marmoush had got out of the way of that, I think Reinders would have scored again. Here is Marmoush once more, breaking into the edge of the penalty area. He goes down, and the referee says it's a free kick right on the edge. Well, I think Marmoush thought it might have been a penalty. But it's right on the edge of the box. Let's have a look at this again. Gets through. Yeah, there goes the challenge. The challenge is actually outside the box. So I think the officials have got that one right. Yeah, he stood on his foot just outside the box. He fell inside. But it will be a free kick. 7 minutes of stoppage time. That's not what you want to see if you're Wolves and you're 4 down already. You really don't. Omar Marmoush is round the free kick, as is Ruben Diaz. Jose Sarr keeping it professional, trying to sort out his wall. It's literally a foot outside the box and probably a yard in from the left edge of the D. So you would have thought they'd want to drill one low because it would be difficult to get it up and down from there. Wolves know that, and they've got a player laying down behind the five-man wall. It's Arias who's lying on the ground. Agbadou has planted himself in the middle of the wall. Tricky to get them down, but Marmouche tries and hits the wall. Comes back to Reinders. He goes for the corner. Overhits it. And it's out for a goal kick. Reinders wants something else. I think they felt that the original free kick had struck an arm. But I don't think that's going to be given. Just over a minute into the 6 minutes added on. Wolves 0, Manchester City 4. A rampant performance from Manchester City in the end. They've not been absolutely at their best. They certainly weren't in the first half an hour. And they started the second half a little carelessly. But you can't gripe too much if you've got 4 goals and a clean sheet. They've got 5 minutes to protect that clean sheet. Long ball forward from Wolves. Matheus Nunes gets onto it down by his own corner flag. He's being harassed by 2 Wolves players, but City play themselves out of trouble. And if they move it quickly here, Wolves might be in big bother. They didn't move it quickly enough. Diaz and Brian Aït-Nouri got in each other's way. So the ball was played back to Trafford, who starts City off again from the back. Nico Gonzalez, that was a very cheeky turn, and he's given the ball away. He says he was fouled and he's still down on the ground. But Wolves have picked the ball up. They can put a ball into the box, and they do so. It's headed away from the edge. Wolves have it again, though. Here is Rodrigo Gomez across the area, headed away to the edge. Hugo Bueno, shot comes in from Fer Lopez, but Trafford is down to save, and he now points to the referee and says Gonzalez is down injured. Gonzalez is still down. I think he may have damaged his hamstring in the midst of all that, although he's pointing to his arm. Maybe he's gone down on his elbow. Let's have a look. Did he fall very awkwardly on the... Oh, dear me. He fell very awkwardly on the left arm. Hopefully he's not put the shoulder out. Could be the elbow. But the physios are on. But Manchester City look like registering a first... Well, they will register a first away win of the season against Wolves here. Wolves lost 8 of their 11 Premier League games last year when they started as outsiders, and they've started that trend again. There is some applause going on in the 94th minute from the Wolves faithful. I'm not sure what that's supposed to signify. Vitor Pereira, the 57-year-old, in discussion with his backroom staff. A wonderful job here last year. 12 wins, 3 draws and only 10 defeats after he took over the reins to get Wolves out of trouble. But that may not help him if he starts this season badly. It looks as if Nico Gonzalez is going to come off. That left arm is causing him a lot of trouble. Seems to be around the area of the elbow. Let's hope that's not a serious problem. With Rodri not quite back to full fitness, Gonzalez would be his sitting midfielder of choice. So perhaps one thing for Pep Guardiola to worry about. Well, we were going to have 7 minutes of stoppage time anyway. We've had 5 of those, but most of those have been with Nico Gonzalez being treated. He's gone off to the sideline. I'm not sure that Manchester City have got any more substitutes to bring on, so They may actually finish this game with 10, but we'll see. I think they can afford to. They're 4 goals to the good. Here's Agbadou in the centre circle. He played forward out to this right-hand side. Rodrigo Gomez is challenged by Rayan Aït-Nouri. 2 players come together again. Aït-Nouri's trying to shepherd the ball over the dead ball line. He can't do that, so plays it off a Wolves foot for a throw down by the corner flag. Well, the Wolves fans are standing by their team and showing great support, despite the fact that their team has been beaten 4-0. Well, certainly as it stands has been beaten 4-0. But they're not going to be discouraged on day one of the season. I think most people, most of them probably thought setting out today that they might end up tonight with no points. This won't be a game that defines their season, I don't suppose. Here is Agbadou swinging it to Rodrigo Gomez. Now João Gomez, centre field, midway inside the City half. Good ball out to the left-hand side. Can they get a decent ball in from the left? Maybe they can. Still Bueno. He's won a corner. He's won a corner in what's supposed to be the last minute of added on time, but I think there'll be a little bit more because of the injury to Nico Gonzalez. Well, the banners are out again for Jota and Andre Silva, his brother. As Wolves remember a former player of old gold. Well, City have won a throw. We're into the 8th minute of added on time now. Surely referee Gillet won't play much more. There doesn't seem to be a great deal of point. Wolves could do with him having mercy on them, really. Even though they're now playing against 10 men because Gonzalez hasn't come back on the field. But it's City who are breaking forward, looking for a 5th at the end. Cherky, little back heel. O'Reilly can't get onto it though. Wolves will clear into the 9th minute of added on time. And the referee decides that that's enough. Well, in the end, an emphatic win for Manchester City. Erling Haaland missed a sitter in the first half, in which Munetsi had a goal disallowed for offside for Wolves. But Haaland atoned with a tap-in to start the scoring. And Tijani Reinders got his first goal for Manchester City on debut when he fired home with his left foot 4 minutes later to make it 2-0 at the break. City started the second half slowly, but Reinders broke forward again on the right-hand side of the box and pulled it back for Haaland